Hello, it's Dexter and me again. We're back in our lounge today and back for another What's in my camera bag video. Only this time it's my stills camera bag. Did the video one a couple of weeks ago. Bye. And after the resounding success of that, I thought I'd make another one today. So the bag itself is a Tamrac Expedition 5. You coming back, Dex? No? Okay, it's a Tamrac Expedition 5. I got a couple of Tamrac bags, as I said in the last video. Really like them, they're rugged. The zips are great. Plenty of compartments, do everything I need really. Tripod is a three-legged thing. Brian. You know, I've given them some strange names. I think they got an Albert or an Arnold or whatever, or a Dudley or something like that. Anyway, it's a carbon fiber tripod, so it's nice and light, with a airhead ball head and a Swiss Arca mounting plate, or Arca Swiss. Is it Swiss Arca or Arca Swiss? I never know. Anyway, yeah, and I've got another tripod, which is a bit more heavy duty, and that's a Manfrotto, again with a ball head and Swiss Arca or Arca Swiss top plate. But at the moment, that's being used to hold the camera that's filming this, so you can't see it. Yeah, those are my tripods. Okay, the bag, as I've said, it's got loads of little compartments. I'll try and pick it up, but it's quite heavy. Oh. There's a bit there for your tripod's foot to go in, or if you're not using a tripod, you could use it for, I guess, waterproof or something like that. I've got a pocket here with a multi-tool and a compass, and I also keep a coin to attach the base plate to my camera. I use L brackets on both of my cameras. They're much easier then to take on and take off the tripod, and to change the orientation from landscape to portrait and back, things like that. In this pocket, I've got a couple of spare AA batteries for my flash, and a spare camera battery. Oh, yes. And a little case full of memory cards, which I can't get out. There we go. Little case full of memory cards. I use Lexar and SanDisk. I find them the most reliable cards. I've got a couple of things attached then to the outside of the bag. I've got a head torch, which is always handy. I've got a bungee cord, which can be useful for, say, moving branches out of the way or whatever, or tying something down. On the front then, I've got a torch, again some chain links, a couple of carabiners, and a whistle, in case I ever get lost. Not that I ever go anywhere to get lost, but I guess it's force of habit. So I'll put the bag back down. The front pocket here is, I think, designed for a small laptop or a tablet, but I keep a Black Rapid camera strap in it and a small kneeling or sitting pad for when the ground is wet or damp and I don't want a soggy bottom. There's nothing worse than a soggy bottom. Okay, into the actual camera bag itself. Right, there's a couple more zipped compartments here. In the top one, I've got a lens cloth, and I keep a shutter release cable. This is the old-fashioned screw-in kind, but I tend more often than not actually to use the camera's self-timer function, so I don't tend to use this that often. I've got the lens cap and camera cap thingy. In the next one down, I always keep a notebook and pen or pencil, because you never know when inspiration will strike, or you may want to make a note of manual settings you've used on a camera, etc. And I always keep a clean, dry lens cloth in there. Onto the main part of the bag itself. In this red bag, I keep a spare battery charger and mains cable. So if I'm ever away from home and I need to charge stuff, I know I can. In here I've got my filters. I use the Lee 100mm system. So I've got the holder with a polarizer ring attached. I've got a little stopper, a big stopper, a 3-stop graduated filter, all by Lee. And then I've got a Hoyer infrared filter, a Cood 3-stop filter, and a Format High-Tech 3-stop reverse grad. And what that does is places the darker portion of the filter nearer the center. It's intended for sunset, sunrise photos when you've got a lot of light nearer the horizon. I intend to do another video concentrating solely on my filters, so I'll do that at some stage in the future for anybody who's interested. Anybody? Well, I'll make it anyway. Okay, into the bag itself. The camera is a Fuji X-T2. I recently replaced my Nikon D800 with this camera. I had no intention of replacing it, but my D800 died after it fell into the sea. Don't ask. I'd already had a Fuji X-T2 for a while, and that's been used to film this, so you can't see it. And loved that camera. So after my Nikon died, I had a decision to make. Do I replace the Nikon and carry on using all my Nikkor lenses, or do I sell up and go down the mirrorless route? I thought I'd get the lighter, smaller camera, so I went for the Fuji X-T2. Cracking camera, absolutely fantastic. I can't really see any difference between the image quality of this and my Nikon D800. If anything, I think this is slightly better. The sensor's more modern. I mean, D800's a 5-year-old camera now, so sensor technology's come a long way. So yeah, I love this camera. I love the retro design of it with all the dials on top and the aperture ring on the lens. Fantastic piece of kit. Camera's fitted with an L bracket, which attaches then into the Arca Swiss or Swiss Arca plate on top of the tripod. And at the moment, this is fitted with my 10-24 f4 wide angle zoom. Fantastic. I don't think Fuji make a bad lens. If they have, I haven't seen one yet. Yeah, this is a fantastic lens. Other lenses I've got are the 18-55 f2.8 to f4, and that's on the X-T2 that's filming this. I've got a Fujinon 60mm f2.4 macro lens, which is obviously great for close-ups, but it's good for portraits as well. Then I've got my manual focus lenses. I've got a Samyang 12mm f2 lens, manual focus, lovely action, lovely clicky aperture ring, buttery smooth focus ring. I bought this primarily for astrophotography use, so the fact that it is manual focus doesn't really matter, because you're going to be setting the focus to infinity anyway. So yeah, but I've taken a couple of landscape shots with this as well. Cracking lens, very, very sharp. And my last lens is an ancient Canon FD mount 135mm lens fitted with a Canon to Fuji adapter, so I can use it on my modern cameras. Again, this is manual focus. Gives me a telephoto focal length of 200mm on my Fuji cameras. It's not the best lens in the world. For what I do, this suits me down to the ground. I'm not going to buy anything more expensive because I don't use that often. And the last items in the bag are some flashes. This is the small one that's provided with the Fuji X-T2 camera because the body doesn't have a pop-up flash. But I've also got a Fuji EF20 because when I do use flash, which isn't very often, I like to be able to bounce it off the ceiling rather than flash it direct into somebody's eyes or directly onto the subject. And this, if I can open it up, this lets me do that. So that's my stills camera kit. Hope this has been useful. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. And I don't know where Dexter is right now. Dex? No, he's vanished. I think he's going to eat something. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye.